I'm Dr. Marta Katalenas. I'm a pediatrician with Pediatric Center of Round Rock in Round Rock, Texas. And I am here again with my friend.
Hi everyone, I'm Fer Candil from Paellas, Tapas and More. I'm a chef and I started a catering business here in Round Rock 7 years ago. And I'm so glad to do this project with my friend Dr. Katalenas, an expert pediatrician. And we are here one more week to show you a very, very basic recipe. We hope you really like it. And we are going to use this recipe to talk to you about cereals and grain for your babies and your toddlers. I think it's something you have a lot to say, Marta.
Probably too much for a short
Okay,
video.
but yeah, no, but it's good because the recipe is so simple. You can cook white garlic rice for your babies very quickly, like 15, 20 minutes, and we can use that time to squeeze Dr. Katalenas all her knowledge about what is good, what is not so good for our babies and our toddlers about cereals. Because I think there are many topics and many things the people just think is good, and I don't think all the cereals are really good. No?
Right. Well, cereals are staple. Here in America, I think we invented breakfast. When you think about, I remember watching American movies back in Spain, and always breakfast was like the kids would bring the big box of cereal, something that we were not used to. And I think we exported that idea to the rest of the world. I believe we overdid it because now it's kind of like a snack. Teenagers reach for the cereal too much.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, Marta. Even my youngest one is junior in college, and I'm very surprised. Sometimes it's like, okay, let's gonna have a dinner, and she say, I don't feel so hungry, but I'm gonna take a bowl of cereals. And I say, this is normal or not?
Yes.
They eat, I think, too much cereals.
Too much cereal. They take it as a snack. They eat it before they go to bed. And we have to realize that cereals are carbs, and they have a high glycemic index. And we know that the glycemic index of a food indicates how fast and how high can that food bring you blood sugar. And so rice is one of the highest ones. So you have to take that into consideration. Even if you do brown rice, wild rice, it is better, glycemic index a little lower, but still at the top. And
That's
so
true.
we have to make sure that we eat it with some protein. And that's the idea of having this white rice in the back of your refrigerator, so you can mix it with your meatballs.
Yes,
with
you can
your
use for
sauce,
many,
right?
many,
You
many
can do
things. Yes.
many things with it.
That's true. That's true. And I'm glad you touched the point about the sugar on the rice bag, because it's true, has a lot of sugar, natural sugar on the rice. And some people say, okay, it's not good to eat a lot of sugar. But I like how Dr. Katalenas touched the point, like our idea here in our podcast, and probably all of you who are actually subscribed to our podcast or this YouTube channel knows that, is looking for the balance. Educate the palate of our babies and toddlers and look for the balance. So we are not pretending you to cook white rice and feed the kids with white rice every day.
Right.
It's just one recipe you have on your fridge for some lazy dinner, you really feel lazy, or diet, and you have a lot of reasons probably for that, especially with your kids. And it's something you have on your fridge and you can use to mix with the vegetables puree for the babies, or you can add some tomato sauce. Remember the recipe we cooked a few weeks ago here, tomato sauce, and we are going to use in other recipes too.
Go ahead and cut, because
yes,
hey,
okay.
We cut and talk, but we are talking.
That's true.
So you are really mincing this garlic.
This garlic, yes. So we have fresh garlic for the recipe, and we're gonna put in our pot here. So we are gonna use the garlic.
And you're gonna put some onion also?
And only garlic and garlic, really
and
extra virgin olive oil from Spain. Sorry, but don't have to be from Spain. I'm just joking, okay? Some olive oil and some bay leaves. That's all we need. And of course the rice. So let's gonna,
And salt.
yes,
And salt
and a little
and a
salt,
little
yes,
salt.
yes.
Yes.
So let's gonna,
So you're gonna
so I'm gonna, yes, I'm gonna saute the garlic here with the olive oil. Don't be worried if you put a lot of olive oil because it's always healthy and it's a good fat.
And the rice absorbs everything. So
Yes.
I'm sure it does get right?
Exactly. And
That too.
the idea you have to have in mind, I'm gonna use 1 cup, but it's always double water, like double liquid than rice.
That's a good point.
So it's something you have to be on the recipe. If you don't have cups or you just have glasses, remember always like 1 glass of rice, 2 glasses of water. If you want to make a little more flavor, the white rice, garlic, with some chicken broth, you can use chicken broth.
Yeah, right.
Or beef broth if you like it. But
Absolutely.
this is a very basic recipe. I don't want or pretend to have you a little chicken broth.
The smell of the garlic, of fried garlic, is just
Yes, so
is
look how pretty is the garlic now. It's just a little gold, not too much. So we are gonna add the rice now. We said 1 cup of rice. We use bomba rice, but it's because I use a lot for my catering from paellas, and I like because it's short grain, but you don't have, if you have at home large grain or short grain, that's fine. There are 3 kinds of rice: the short grain, the medium, and the large. For the paella, of course, the best one is the medium short grain, because when you mix with all the ingredients, it keep a good shape and has the quality to absorb the liquid double than the regular short grain. To make white rice, you don't need to do that, but you see, like we impregnate very well all the rice with the oil and the garlic, so all the flavor is on the rice, and we are gonna add now the water. So we're gonna put some bay leaves. I love bay leaves. I like the smell and the flavor. Some water now. So remember, we put 1 cup of rice. Now we're gonna add 2 cups of water.
Do you add just cold like that?
Yeah, you don't need to heat
warm it up, no.
No, it's just room temperature.
Okay. And we have to remember that here at the supermarket you have a variety of rices.
Yes.
Jasmine rice. All
Yeah,
kinds of-
jasmine,
and
cal rose.
Any kind.
Any kind. I prefer short grain or large grain for that. Depends of your flavor. Some kids really like it. I don't really like a sticky rice, because the idea of the sticky rice is to prepare sushi, or there are some rice you need to wash before, because we talk of
We'll
this.
talk about that.
Yes,
Why
we talk
have to
about this
wash it
topic.
always.
Yes. So 1
1 and 2.
and 2. And a little salt. I don't know, Marta, where is the
I'm
salt?
gonna give you.
Sorry.
Oh, look, I have Himalayan salt. How about
Oh, wow.
that?
A very fancy salt.
But any salt will do.
No, that's perfect. Any salt, any salt. It's just a little.
And you know, I tell my patients many times to, when they are trying to transition babies from baby food to table food, to start making the baby food a little thicker or a little more lumpy. So you can add a couple of spoonfuls of white rice to
Exactly.
the baby food, and that way you can test and see how ready the baby is to really find something in the mouth. And so that would be a good.
So why some rice recommended to wash the rice? Probably Marta can explain, because there are some people who are really very scared about
yeah,
the
real
chemicals.
concern is the cyanide in the rice. That is what.
Exactly.
There's a lot of information out there, and yes, we know that we have to realize cyanide is a trace element. It's everywhere in nature. It's in our waters. It's in the soil. It's in the plants. There is organic and inorganic. And rice happens to be a grain that really absorbs and maintains cyanide. So the concentration is going to be higher than in other grains. So should we be concerned? Well, maybe, Asian recipes or families with that tradition where they eat rice with every meal, they should be concerned then that maybe they are ingesting too much cyanide. So that's a reason not to give babies rice cereal every day. If you have to thicken up the milk or the formula for a baby because a baby with reflux, for example, traditionally we used to say just add a spoonful of baby rice cereal. Well, now what we say is, well, maybe it should be oatmeal, or you should alternate the rice with the oatmeal, because the smaller the baby, of course, that concentration of cyanide may be a concern. So much that the American Academy of Pediatrics a couple of years ago came up with a recommendation, and now they are controlling the amount of cyanide in baby food, in baby cereals, to 1 part per billion, whatever that means. But the rest of the food is not really. There is no way to measure it, and so just don't eat rice every day.
Don't eat rice every day. That's true.
Right.
That's true.
Yes, and we also know that washing the rice before cooking and the cooking process itself gets rid of a lot of the cyanide.
Yes.
Unless the water you're using has a lot of cyanide too, which is possible. And so that's the story with the cyanide. Nothing to be scared, paranoid about, because then you cannot eat any food.
Exactly.
These days we have contamination of waters and plants, and just to be aware. So how long? Oh, it's really.
Yeah, it's cooking well with the olive oil.
This fast is okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can reduce a little, like a medium.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
that's
about
perfect.
20 minutes, just like any rice?
Yeah, like a 15,
20
minutes, and you have the
Okay.
rice already cooked. But there are another question I really want to talk to you, because I heard many people like, it's good to give some cereals on the bottle, or is the good moment to start with cereals with the spoon? So when is a good time to start giving cereals our babies? And let's talk about the babies. And to me, I remember with my kids, Marta, I don't know if it was wrong or not, because I think sometimes this is fashionable. Like I think some things is some tendencies, like let's gonna introduce the cereals earlier or the vegetables earlier, or depends of the countries or the cultural, I think, or habits.
Sure, yes, it is culture, and we are learning more as we go too. So what we should never do is to put cereal in a bottle.
Exactly. So I remember start with the spoon. It is asking for a lot of patience for the parents, because the first time is liquid, it's not very thick, and you have to start with the spoon with the baby, or give the spoon to the baby and be ready.
Good luck. Yes.
And good luck.
But usually it's between 4 and 6 months. Every baby is different, but usually it's between 4 and 6 months.
4 and
when
6
we
months.
start, we mix it in a bowl and we give it with a baby spoon. The only reason really to put cereal inside a bottle to a baby who is less than 4 months is those with gastroesophageal reflux. And parents who have a child with this condition know what I'm talking about. And so if we make the food a little thicker, then it will stay in the stomach, at least that's what we hope, and it won't come up that easy. They even make baby formulas that have cereal incorporated. And that's when I mean, if you have one of these babies who you really need to add a little cereal, just add oatmeal instead of rice for every bottle.
Oh, okay.
And another common belief is, and the reason why they started putting cereal in the bottle, many parents do, is because they think they're going to sleep through the night.
So the people is totally full and say,
they're
okay,
absolutely-
I'm not gonna cry, I'm not gonna do anything during the night, and say, thanks God.
It doesn't work that way.
Doesn't work that way. Okay, bad news. Bad news, everyone. It's not like that. So it's only in special conditions when you have to add the cereals to the bottle. So the other way is with the spoon.
With the spoon at 4 to 6 months, yes.
4 to 6 months. So, and I think we talked about this cereal before, but what about these cereals the people use for a snack? Like the balls, I don't know how they call, I'm sorry.
Puffs.
Puffs,
Right?
yeah,
Those
I think they are puffs.
For babies.
For babies,
yes.
and the people love it. The babies
yes,
love
the
it.
babies
Probably
love it.
because it has a lot of sugar, I think, or they are very artificial. I saw the ingredients, and I really asked you to check the ingredients and be careful, because I know it's good to have the babies relaxing and not crying and playing, and everyone need a break, but sometimes we have to be very sure what we are giving to our babies.
So the idea is that these puffs, first of all, they taste great, yes. So it's very processed food. And also, it invites to use this food as a kind of like a snack for babies. So you're in the car and the baby's crying. Or I see this in the office. The baby's tired of being there, starts crying. And the mother brings those puffs and start giving to the baby, and all of a sudden this child is happy for a few minutes. So just think what you're doing. Then that baby is associating discomfort with food, with putting something in the mouth. And so those puffs, because they are portable, because of the design, people use them with that purpose, not as part of a meal, rather just when they need it for emotional purposes.
Yeah.
So there is no nutrition in them. They don't even teach the baby, or they won't tell you if the baby is ready to eat with a spoon, because they melt in the mouth. So baby puts it in the mouth, it melts, they swallow it. So it's not a lot of learning how to chew and swallow there. So they are really engineered to be light, and they are light.
Yeah, they are very light.
Marketing behind them. So
that's true.
You don't need to buy those. You don't. I will advise to actually stay away from those kind of snacks. The same thing with goldfish and all this food that they bring to the office. And I see these little bags. They reach for the little bag of goldfish. And
they're very comfortable.
And they are, daycares know these very well. They have snack time, they have a lot of snacks because of that. That's the moment where all kids gather together and they are quiet for a while. So associating emotions and food is not good news. And when you're an adult, you really, whatever you learn when you're a child, it really, you pay for when you're an adult, and at that point you cannot stop eating, or you have to have food around all the time.
Yeah.
So,
that's true. Careful. It's very interesting information about the grain and the cereals. And it's look almost done. You see, so it's all the,
That was
so you
quick.
can, that's very quick. You can go low, yes.
There?
Yes.
You see the consistency of it? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I noticed that here, I don't know if you noticed with your paellas too, in America, it looks like if it takes a longer, but it takes more water to cook the rice. You notice that?
Depends what kind of rice. Some kind of rice is usually on the package, the instructions, like recommended 2.5 more water than the grain. So depends what kind of grain you are working it. It's like a pasta. Some pasta is recommended 10, 12 minutes. Other pasta, like a fresh pasta, but it's dry, recommended 8 to 10 minutes. It's exactly with the rice. So it's not exactly, and you know much better than us, probably your stove or your pot or the rice you have at home. But the basic thing is just giving a little flavor to the rice with the garlic. If you prefer onion, you can use onion. But we in Spain eat a lot of garlic, and we always prepare this rice with garlic and bay leaves. But if you like it, even if you like it, you can add some herbs or fresh herbs or some to give some smell, good smell or some flavor, if you like it. If not, on this way is just perfect.
It takes a lot of variation, and you can use it
to
add to a lot of food. So you think it's done?
Yes, I think it's done. Probably need to rest. All the rice always need to rest for a few minutes before to eat. But the idea of this rice, you can see it, and you can smell, but we are smelling, and the garlic and the olive oil smell really good. And it's not sticky, you see? So probably, if need a little more time, just 5 minutes after you cook to rest, is perfect for your toddlers and for your kids with 10, 12 months. If they are ready to find some lumps on the food, the rice, the white rice, is perfect.
I
So,
remember as a child, and even now, my favorite food is with 2 fried eggs.
yes, and tomato sauce.
And tomato sauce.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
And we call arroz a la cubana in Spain.
yes.
And sometimes with a banana, with a fried,
Yes.
regular banana. It was really delicious and have everything, protein, fruit, and
Everything.
everything. We don't need
In one
anything
meal.
else. So thank you so much for listening and watching our YouTube channel. One more week, we are very happy to do that just for you, to help you to educate the palate of your babies and your toddlers. And please subscribe or give us a like if you like it, and help us to spread the word with other parents who really don't like to cook a lot, but they really love their little ones.
Yes.
So-
Thank you for this wonderful recipe, very simple but very needed. So thank you for listening.
Bye.